Tim.
Yeah.
Tim.
Yeah.
What are you doing, mate?
I was just having some fun. Oh, yeah,
That's
we're
a
live.
bit better, isn't it, with the light?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, that's much better.
You seem all jittery. Are you okay?
I'm quite jittery. Yeah,
are you ready for this tasting?
Not really. I don't like the dark, I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
And that was scary, sitting in the dark there. Here we go. Anyway, welcome to our Halloween live tasting, everyone. Thank you for joining us. I am Tim from Siren Craft Brew.
I'm Ellis, also from Siren Craft Brew.
Ellis, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
So I've been working here for about 2 years. I sort of specialise more into the tap yard and the supervisation of the tap yard.
Good word, yeah.
And I also help out with a lot of events and online tastings and that sort of stuff. And Tim's very kindly invited me to help out with this.
Absolutely, yeah. So today we're tasting through 3 beers, which you would have had in your Silence of the Cans mixed case, which is one of my favourite mixed case names ever. We did a bunch of movie theme ones before, and I think that's my favourite ever one. And it's these 3 beers here: Light in the Dark, Dystopian Dawn, which is released today, so it was a pre-order, but you'll have that, and Fire Above the Moon. We are joined by a very special guest for our first beer, though, which is going to be Light in the Dark. So let's bring him in. Johnny, how are we?
Hello, this hand. How are we doing?
Good to see you, man. How's it been? How's things? How's the book going?
Everything's going super. Hey, straight in with the book. I'm loving your work there. Yes, the book sales are going extremely well. The book tour's going extremely well. But I'm just still reeling from Silence of the Cans. I mean, that is it's strong work.
Yeah, that's good. That's Andy, our marketing manager, who came up with that. So, yeah, good on him. If anyone sees us looking down here, by the way, that's because we can see Johnny here, but it looks weird. So we're trying to look at the camera and talk to Johnny, who's down to my right. So this is what we're talking about: A Year in Beer, your new book. Tell us all about it. What was behind this book?
This was my lockdown project. I signed the contract basically a week into lockdown.
Yeah.
And essentially decided to do a travel book during lockdown. So that was stupid.
Right.
Basically, it's looking a beer through the lens of the seasons. So I think seasonality has almost been kind of lost in beer. You know, we can store our hops in cold stores. We can ferment our beers in stainless steel at whatever temperature we want. Yeah. But still, even though we've sort of tried to wrestle control over the natural process of fermentation, there's lots of seasonal elements to beer that we've kind of forgotten about. So, you know, food and beer obviously go together all the time. And there's a very seasonal element to food. There's certain beers and flavors that we always love at certain times of year. You've got Oktoberfest, so September's all about lager. You've got maybe smoked beer in November around, can feel really nostalgic around November the 5th. We've got Christmas beers. We've got Easter beers. I dig into the history of those two. There's a lot more historical precedent to Christmas beer than there is to Easter beer. I'm still not really sure what Easter beer is, so don't expect that to be cleared up in the Easter chapter.
Chocolate beer?
No, unsurprisingly. I do. There's a beer and chocolate matching around Easter. Oh, I opened it right on the page. That's how well I know this book. So we do chocolate and beer matching, but spring beers and Easter beers sort of merge into one. They're very fresh, very hoppy, even in Belgium, and sort of designed, I think, to be drunk fresh just before the hiatus in brewing that used to happen in summer, so that beers don't get infected. So you'd brew stuff to drink over the first couple of months, and then stuff to drink towards the end of that summer hiatus. So that's where spring beer sort of came around from. So so there's all these historical things that happen in seasonality, and then lots of modern stuff like the new hops from America come over in February, March, April. So maybe, as I posit in the book, IPAs taste best in April.
Okay.
It's certainly a theory.
April's my birth month, so everything good comes from April, quite frankly.
My birth month too.
There we go. Happy birth month.
Yeah, the best things happen in April.
So, as part of the book, you teamed up with 4 breweries, including Siren, of course, to do 4 collab beers. Mm-hmm. So tell us about how that came about and what the idea was again.
Well, it came about way too late. So I had this idea with about 5 weeks before the launch.
Yeah.
And was like, wouldn't it be cool to do a beer for the seasons and then release it as a 4-pack with the book? So I could sort of, give a literal representation of what I'm talking about. So I emailed Darren, owner of Siren, and said, "Could you do all 4?" And he went, "No, mate." So I was like, "Right, okay, it's going to be 4 different breweries then."
Yeah.
So I was very lucky to be able to persuade 4 great breweries. So Siren took on Winter, which we're about to taste. So I'll tell you about that beautiful barley wine in a second. But we did a Czech Pilsner, a single decoction, all SARS Pilsner with Lost and Grounded, called Sunshine State of Mind. We did a green hopped golden ale with Elusive just around the corner. Which we did a video on the Craft Beer channel for as well, so you can watch the actual process of the brewing. That was the only brew day, sadly, that I actually got to be there for. Otherwise, it was just phone calls and emails to get the recipe.
Yeah,
and then we did a double West Coast
modern
IPA.
lockdown collaborations are mostly sort of.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
And then we did a double West Coast IPA with Daya, and Light in the Dark, which actually I have to say is my favourite of the 4.
You have to say that.
You have to say that. But also, I've been saying it.
Why? Can you tell us why you chose a barley wine specifically for winter?
Yeah, so barley wine is a really interesting style because it's not really a style. We talk a lot in modern craft beer. Sometimes craft is accused of being just marketing, or a certain new style is like it's just marketing. All these different variations of IPA, it's just marketing. Well, barley wine, which was invented in the 1800s, 19th century. Was just marketing as well. So it was used by some wholesalers and retailers who were trying to make beer sound fancy because everybody had started, the lower classes had started drinking gin and the upper classes had started drinking imported wine. So they decided, these wholesalers and retailers started advertising their strong October beers. So these beers that are made after the summer hiatus. When we get brewing again, they'll use the fresh hops, the fresh malt to make a big old beer that you generally age for a year or longer. And they started calling these beers barley wines to try and make it sound fancy. So these beers are typically brewed in sort of September or October. Like there was literally a name for these beers called October beer. And they'd have been like 10, 11, 12%, 13% even. Really big beers made with the best malts, the best hops that they could get their hands on. And then it would have been aged, generally drunk like the next winter. So you'd age it for a year and then start cracking them open. But sometimes they'd brew them. There was a tradition to brew one to drink on the day that your sire turned 21. So your son is going to inherit it. So they'd age their beers for up to 21 years. But we didn't have that long. Like I said, we had 5 weeks.
Well, it's funny. I think, we are literally surrounded by aged barley wine at the moment. Obviously, there's a lot of Maiden where we are at the moment, which is our kind of, flagship, if you will, most famous barley wine.
The Resistance.
And I think this is the first barley wine we've done just straight up. The last one we did.
First one that hasn't gone into a barrel.
Obviously, barrel aging Maiden. The Scattered Light was spun with 3 different types of wood, so it added a lot of character. I think this is the first of the straight up barley wine, but it really works. We're going to open these and we're going to try them because that's the whole point of this. But before we do, let us tell you a little bit more, the people at home, about the concept of this tasting. Now, obviously, it's not just normal; it's a Halloween tasting. For some reason, some idiot came up with the idea that we do a trick or treat. So right now on Twitter, there's a poll live, and there'll be a second poll and a third poll for after each beer. You can either trick us or you can treat us.
Please be kind.
Please be kind. Please be kind.
You're not going to be kind, are you?
The first one, I can tell you trick is winning, obviously. Thanks, everyone.
What have we got?
Well, the trick for this one is a raw radish, which are already out of date. They were already reduced, and they're already out of date. Ellis, have you ever tried a radish?
I can't say that I have.
Never tried a radish?
Let alone an out-of-date radish.
Followed by some veggie and salmon pie baby food. Not going to be that amazing, not going to be that difficult, but not going to be that nice. A treat, if you want to be nice to us, is some lovely chocolate.
Yeah.
We've got some more of those coming up after each beer, but for now, go and get on the Twitter, Siren Craft Brew, and get voting, please. Get voting
Get
for
on it.
treat. Let's open these beers, shall we?
Let's crack on.
Have you already got one open? Absolute pro. He's waited. See, first thing you notice there, I think, is the colour. That's a absolutely gorgeous sort of deep, sort of amber colour. That is lovely, isn't it?
I think like a fallen red leaf.
Yeah,
Some notes
yeah.
slightly.
It's a very. So this was actually the winter beer, wasn't it, of the fall?
Mhm.
But it's a very sort of autumnal colour, and I really like that for this time of year.
Get this colour to come through.
Oh
here.
yeah, good plan.
Don't know if that's working. Yeah, kind of. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, you can see that.
Really sort of lovely, sort of almost rouge red.
Yeah,
And this is, of
yeah,
course,
very
what the untapped fanatics of the 19th century used to do. They didn't have a phone light to shine through it, so they'd be lifting up their candles and
Yeah.
then noting it in their diaries, in which they'd
Yeah.
scribbled untapped onto
Yeah,
the cup.
and then right off there, 3.8 star review. Send it off to Ye Olde Untapped. Excellent.
Best beer I've ever had, 3.5.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, Johnny, talk us a little bit
Mm.
through the beer. Like, how much influence did you have in the sort of design of it and the malts and the hops and whatnot?
Probably too much, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, when we agreed that we'd do winter with you guys, obviously barley wine was the obvious choice because of the history, but also because you guys make such fantastic barley wine.
Yeah.
So Sean, head brewer, and I started talking, and Sean said, "Come at me with a recipe, and if we need to tweak it, we'll tweak it." So I went away and I went on a load of homebrew forums, looked back at my homebrew recipes. I'd never made a barley wine, but made some bigger dark beers. And what I wanted to do was to make a beer that was kind of like my two favorite barley wines, excluding Maiden. It is a barley wine, but we didn't have barrels. And that was Coniston No. 9 and Vintage Ale from Fuller's.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on and I found basically the recipe for the Coniston, and we gave it a big old tweak. So it's mostly Maris Otter, 86.4% Maris Otter.
Yeah.
And then we put just two different kinds of crystal, like a lighter crystal to try and get some kind of raisins, brioche bready kind of notes to it.
Mm-hmm.
And then lots of dark, well, not lots, a small amount of dark crystal to try and get sort of some figs and dates and darker stuff out of it. And that's all tied together with a yeast that I think gives us banoffee pie, basically, is what I think the yeast is giving us.
Yeah, you definitely got
orange
those
and stuff.
banana sort of estery notes of the yeast. And of course, hops-wise, English Kent Goldings and a bit of Challenger.
Challenger for bittering, and then mountains of EKG at the end. And EKG, it's a really cool hop because it can be really spicy, it can be really earthy, like we'd expect from English hops, but it's also got, it feels really, really smooth bitterness-wise. It's almost kind of honeyed, like acacia honey kind of spice, I think, East Kent in really big quantities and really late in the boil. And that's what I think we get here as well. So EKG used right can actually be almost sweet.
Yeah. I think there is a real sweetness from this as well. So Scattered Light before was really sweet, but I think a lot of that vanilla-y came off the wood.
Yeah, for sure.
On the nose, I mean, this it's so rich. There's sort of dried fruits and a bit of Christmas cake, but also
maybe a bit of marzipan in there as well.
Yeah, like or toffee or something as well. There's a lot going on there, and then there is a sort of depth of sweetness to the flavour that is actually delicious,
and
really
it develops as well as you go on.
Yeah, it's really, really tasty, isn't it?
Lovely. It's really nice.
Very, very drinkable for an 8.6.
Oh, is that how much it is?
Could be dangerous.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, we
it's a party.
we wanted to get a little bit lower than most barley wines, most modern barley wines.
Yeah.
So I think the American influences pushed them back up to 10, 11, 12%.
Yeah.
We wanted something that you could have a can of that on your own over an evening.
Yeah,
you could. Maybe with some tasty cheese.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a good point. So one thing I was like to touch on is food pairings.
Absolutely, yeah.
What we sort of, think a beer goes well with, and we'll go into that with all of these beers. But for me, barley wine definitely sort of an after dinner drink, and that is a cheese board. And I think that's what you go into your book as well, isn't it?
I sure do. Yeah, October is mostly about cheese.
Yeah.
I just think cheese and beer have, I'm trying to find the page, cheese and beer have so much in common for many, many reasons. They historically they've sort of evolved together. So they were both sort of stuff that women would do in the home. So it was like a cottage industry. So the women would be brewing, they'd be making the cheese that they'd be consuming or selling any excess. And then it got commercialized, and the men took it over and tried to make money out of it, and it got professionalized. And then, we then hit like the 20th century, Fordism, capitalism really gets running, and we start to commodify everything. So we found the cheese that could be easily ramped up, which was cheddar, and we found the beer that we could, and that was lager. And those two styles took over the world. And now we have our craft beer revolution, where we started to go, actually, variation is really good, isn't it? And cheese has had the same thing, particularly in England, where it was just cheddar and red cheddar. People called it red Leicester, it wasn't. It was red cheddar, colorings. And now we've got, I think it's about 800 different cheeses being made in the UK at this point. So it's had a very similar explosion. And then just flavor-wise, they have similar bacterias in common, similar, some yeasts, some beers are, some cheeses are washed in beer. They're two things, originally made by the same women in the 1800s. And now they're being made by, a wonderfully diverse set of people, but they still have all that history and all those flavors in common.
There's a local cheese company, and I can't remember the name of the cheese, but they're actually washing it in Soundwave.
Are they?
Yeah.
So wow.
There is a Soundwave washed cheese out there, which we need to shout about some more. So check it out on Twitter.
What's the company called?
I can't remember. I've gone blank.
Oh,
there we go.
Look
Beautiful
at that
page in the book.
Yeah.
We've done a few sort of cheese tastings recently, and one of the biggest surprises for me was blue cheese and Broken Dream.
Yeah, of course. Well, of course, Broken Dream is packed full of a load of lactose, which would go really hand in hand with a really lovely creamy blue cheese.
Yeah.
And yeah, it absolutely would work.
I didn't expect it to work, but the two just came alive. And I think blue cheese with this would be the way I would go.
I was going to say blue cheese. I think a really lovely sort of sharp, creamy blue cheese with this after a meal would be absolutely beautiful.
Yeah. Johnny, agreeance?
Yeah, I think definitely a Colston Bassett or a Stickleton.
I'm going to say Isle of Wight Blue because I'm an Isle of Wight boy. It's an award-winning cheese, so Isle of Wight Blue. Check it out.
Sure, why not? Isle of Wight, let's go.
Yeah.
I will. What I love about barley wines with cheese, basically barley wine can go with almost any cheese. But because it kind of works like a chutney. Yeah. It's full of those fruit cake, but also you've got a hint of either acidity or carbonic acid from the carbonation, so it can work to kind of cut through it. So it's great with blue cheese. It's great with creamy mild cheese, even great with really funky creamy cheese, and also great with cheddar as well. Particularly because we've got quite a lot of bitterness in this beer, which was on purpose for two reasons: one, for drinkability, and two, so that you can age this. And I would recommend people buying 2 cans, drink one now, age another.
I mean, I'd recommend them buying 4 cans.
Okay, 4 cans.
I'd go to
8.
6 cans.
Yeah.
That's 12 pack. You get a discount.
But yeah, so we put the bitterness high so that you could age it, because bitterness sort of dies as you age a beer. But we put that quite high, and bitterness is really good with cheddar, particularly like the really well-aged, like where you get those little crystals of mad matureness and you start to sweat under your eyes because it's so much good. With like big West Coast IPAs or really bitter barley wines or even like really robust porters with loads of roast can really work.
Great. Oh, I love it. All right, well, Johnny, thank you so much. You're not joining us for the whole thing. Let's push this book again. A Year in Beer. People can buy it.
You can buy it from the Siren tap room.
You can
buy it from the Siren tap room.
Yeah.
Or from the Camera bookstore. It's published by Camera. Or from me, I've got events all over the country over the next year or so. Or the big online bookstore that we won't say the name of, but
we all know
you can buy it from there.
Think of a big bookstore. It's that one.
So if you want to follow Johnny, go to @JohnnyGarrett on Twitter. That's no H and 2 T's. I've misspelled your name wrong several times. I apologise for that. Or @Beer Channel to follow the craft beer channel where Johnny is from. what is it, 112,000 subscribers on YouTube now, which is
112
And
currently.
growing.
Yeah.
yeah, and growing. I remember it wasn't that long ago that it was 100,000, so that's amazing. My phone.
Yeah, well, we
keeps going off.
celebrated it with you, didn't we?
Sorry.
We celebrated the 100,000 with you guys by brewing a red IPA.
Yeah, with 100 IBUs, so that was pretty good. Yeah. Cheers for that, Johnny.
Thanks, Johnny.
Thank you ever so much for coming on, and please, everyone, do go and get the book. And now me and Ellis are going to go and eat a radish.
Enjoy that, guys. Love a beer.
Okay, cheers. All right, Ellis. Now it's just the two of us.
Yeah.
I hope it's just the two of us. We are currently in the Haunted Barrel store. Let's have a look at the Twitter poll and
have a look.
See how predictably it's gone. Of course, we have been tricked. I don't like people.
Yeah. You're in the wrong industry, my friend.
Yeah, I know. Right. Okay. So.
All right, let's do it. What have we got to do?
Poll 2 is now live. In poll 2, we're gonna have
a big old spoonful.
A spoon of Marmite Dynamite. Now I love Marmite, but
yeah,
not by the spoonful. Right.
Sure.
Out of date radish.
Yeah, let's do it.
There's a big one. There's a small one.
So okay, so just for the people at home, I've never tried a radish. Yeah. I don't know what texture, what taste, what it's used for. I don't. What dishes are radish is used for?
What it's used.
I mean, I know that it's used for cooking, obviously. But yeah, I'm going in completely blind. But knowing that this is in the trick category, part of me is going to. Well, I know that it's not going to be nice.
Okay.
What are you doing?
Well, this is the other side of the.
This is the
radish immediately followed by this.
Okay.
Do you want to hold one of them up to the
Okay, so I'll tell you what I'll do.
Thanks, everyone.
How about I plop this
okay,
right in there?
You got it. That's how
that was. Okay, so this is what we are going to do. Just for context, this is a veggie and salmon pie pouch of baby food.
I mean, yeah.
Do you have a spit bucket?
Nope. Going in. Cheers.
Cheers.
Gross. What a baby's eating. That's horrible.
Oh, there's no flavour to it. It's all texture. Oh.
What a baby eating that. Oh my goodness me. Sorry, Tesco, but
that is
folks, don't feed your babies salmon and veggie pie baby food.
I don't like salmon anyway. But in a baby food formula with some veggies,
okay. We've just been talking about food pairing, and I don't recommend that combination.
Oh my god.
Okay, the next poll is live, guys. Please.
The radish doesn't even taste of anything.
Okay.
I'm just getting the salmon.
Yeah, I don't mind the radish. The radish is nice, but all right, let's move on to beer 2.
Yeah.
What are we doing next?
Were we going to do a film recommendation?
Oh yeah.
So
film recommendation.
So what I came up with for this really lovely tasting was, as it is the spookiest time of the year, I figured we would come up with some film recommendations, specifically horror film recommendations, that accompany each of these beers. And I've taken them from various aspects, mainly the name. And we're going to start with Light in the Dark. Unfortunately, Johnny has gone, so we can't get his opinion. But for me, Light in the Dark, when I think of horror films, I think of like a paranormal, ghostly sighting horror film. And for me, when I think of Light in the Dark, what immediately sparks to mind is that scene from The Conjuring. Specifically the moment where the mum is trying to find her daughter and thinks that she's in the basement, and then she goes down and then the door swings closed. It's completely pitch black, and all that she has is some matches, and she lights up the match, and then it's really, really sort of amazing filmmaking, where you can just see her face, and then in the background you hear a little clap. Really terrified me. Really, really terrified me.
Do you know the light in the dark that terrified me the most?
What was that?
Home Alone.
Home Alone.
When the boiler downstairs goes.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That is like
terrifying. Absolutely terrifying.
Filmmaking glory.
Here's a comment here. I'd love it if you found a new brilliant beer pairing through the tricks. It could happen. It could happen. I can guarantee you, though, that veggie and salmon pie, baby food, is not a good pairing.
So you'd have to find a good beer that would pair with salmon.
Yes.
So I don't know. What beer would you think pairs with fish?
Not sure.
No. You can pair a lot of wines with fish.
Yeah.
But beers, I'm not too sure about.
No. There we go. It's the Maida Vale cheese washed with Soundwave. Thanks, Andy, for pointing that one out. All right, beer number 2. Let's move on. This one is Far Above the Moon, released a couple of weeks ago. Let's see if we can focus on that. Probably not. No.
What about that?
There we go. That's got it. Far Above the Moon. This was a follow-up. We released a beer called Far Above the World a few weeks ago. And if anyone can put in the comments where we got those names from, I will be impressed with your knowledge.
I don't even know where they came from in the first place.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
So you see if anyone comes up with it before I tell you. So Far Above the World, let's pour this out because this is an absolutely gorgeous looking beer. And if you're drinking along at home, do please tell us your thoughts and what you're thinking and what you're drinking. That is a gorgeous, gorgeous colour.
Almost like a light mango-y, sort of hazy.
It's quite a deep orange. There's a real sort of. I mean, it's just gorgeous, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice.
Absolutely lovely. So yeah, follow up to Far Above the World, which I think was probably my favourite beer that we did this year. And this might be a second or joint first. The New England style, this sort of hazy, sort of big juice bomb. I think we've leveled up since we've installed the water treatment.
Oh yes, absolutely.
So those who don't know, in Finchampstead, the water is very chalky. It's a very sort of nutrient rich, which is very hard. Very hard water. You can constantly see it on the glassware and everything. It's a bit of a nightmare. So within the brewery, we've now got a water treatment plant. Strips out all of that, takes it down to a base level, and we can build our profile from there. Yeah. And our IPA game has been up since then, I think. Oh, yes, 100%. With the New England style, you're looking for chloride-rich water, so about 3-to-1 from chlorides to sulfates. Chlorides provide a softer mouthfeel. Okay. And sulfates pronounce bitterness. Ah, so West Coast would be the other way around. Yeah, of course. Bitterness, but cleaner. Nice. And that's what you're getting with this really sort of pillowy. I mean, the aroma is lots of sort of stone fruits that I get through there. Yeah, the house yeast lends itself really well to that. Peach, mango, the overripe fruits. Yeah. Oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely delicious. Loads of like say, mango definitely. Yeah, for sure. Bit of pineapple in there. Yeah, bit of pineapple, some citrus as well. Yeah, a little bit. It's fantastic. Big old malt bill, which was Marisotta, wheat, naked oats, flaked oats. So the oats providing that really thick, lovely, gorgeous mouthfeel. Yep. Dextrin and chip malt and some oat husk, which was the same as Far Above the World. The difference was hops. So this time we had Galaxy, Strata, Eldorado, and Idaho 7. And then 3 dry hops, Strata and Citra. Strata, Eldorado, Citra, Strata, Citra, Mosaic. Oh, nice. It took me about 20 minutes to go through the hops. Yeah. It's a hoppy beer. It's beautiful, but those sorts of flavors, those sorts of notes. It's a really fine balance between sort of, the really bold, lovely citrus, fruity notes and a really delightful bitter on the end. I think it's fantastic. It's, again, so drinkable for 7.2. Oh, yeah. So, movie-wise, Far Above the Moon. So Far Above the Moon, I figured, what could we do with Far Above the Moon? I saw, that the kind of obvious answer for me personally was to go for the moon aspect. And then I thought, what are the best sort of depictions of werewolves that I could think of?
Now, I haven't seen many werewolf films per se. I've seen films that have werewolves in it, not necessarily one that centers around one person and his.
Classics like American Werewolf in London.
I haven't seen that.
Okay.
I've seen the transformation scene, and that is really, really incredible.
Yeah.
For me, the scariest werewolf that I think that I've seen on screen it has to be Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
That scene where Professor Lupin.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
I haven't seen that.
What?
I know.
Shut the front door right now.
I know.
You haven't seen it.
Yeah.
Well, let me set the scene for you.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've got Harry and his pals, Ron and Hermione, and they're in a bit of a sticky situation. They've just come from a very sort of derelict room.
Yeah.
And they got three people with them that aren't students. So you've got Professor Snape, Professor Lupin, and you've got Wormtail.
Right.
As well. And they have a big scurry, whatever, and then they are coming out from this room, and it's pitch black, it's midnight, there's a full moon. And the big sort of scary moment is the camera goes all the way, it's a really lovely tracking shot to Lupin's face when he sees the moon. And then it's such a terrifying transformation.
Right.
And it was so scary, ladies and gentlemen, that my sister, who was, I believe, maybe 5 or 6 at the time, she got absolutely terrified. And my mum had to walk her out of the cinema.
Oh, she left the cinema?
She absolutely, yeah, she did.
Oh, no.
And she didn't see the end of the movie.
Oh.
And she didn't want to watch the movie again until maybe 3 or 4. Yeah, she's seen it now. But I mean,
now she's 8.
I can't, yeah. I mean, it is a very sort of terrifying thing to witness.
Yeah.
And I'm sure for the kids within that fictional film, it was very scary for them as well.
Best werewolves I've seen is What We Do in the Shadows.
Oh,
Rhys Darby.
Yes,
werewolf.
that's really good.
If you've not seen that film, it's now a BBC series as well.
Watch that as well.
Van Novak and people like that. Matt Berry.
Matt Berry, very funny.
Film recommendation for me, I'm just going pure moon, Apollo 13.
Yeah?
It's not a horror film, but it's pretty scary.
Nice.
Brilliant. All right. Bit of an IPA. So IPA has been a bit of a focus for us this year. We've obviously done a lot of the California style, which a lot of people aren't quite sure of what a California IPA is. They think it might be a West Coast IPA, and it's not. Check out our blog /sirencraftbeer.com/blog. There's a wonderfully written blog by Andy on there about California IPA and what that is.
Nice.
Very exciting things happening as well with IPA. Our advent calendar.
Oh, of course.
Has an exclusive IPA in the calendar. Won't be found anywhere else. And it also has a first, an IPA that we've never done before. So look out for that.
Absolutely.
We've also got our first green hop beer coming up, Frozen Azaka Leaf.
Tell me, what does a green hop beer mean?
Right. So hops come in many formats. So we use like a T90 pellet, which is sort of like you get all the hop green and it's sort of condensed into these pellets.
Sure.
And there's lots of various other hop formats as well. Literally what's happened here is you've got the whole hop cone that's been frozen from the field.
Oh,
you know those peas adverts?
Yeah.
Nothing fresher than frozen peas. Basically that. And these are Azaka hops coming fresh, frozen over from the States.
Mm-hmm.
And that will be in an IPA soon. And
Blimey.
I cannot wait for that, because it's going to be, I mean, content glorious to film that. Fresh hops going in.
I'm very excited to see how different that is from a regular sort of IPA that we'll produce.
Absolutely. That's good though. Right. So I'm stalling because I know what's happened. We've been tricked again.
We've been tricked again.
Yeah.
Okay. A spoonful. Now, Tim, we have 2 spoons here. We have a teaspoon and we have a tablespoon.
Teaspoon. For me,
you're going a teaspoon.
Yeah.
You know what? I'll go like for like.
Listen,
all right.
I love Marmite.
I love Marmite. I'm a Marmite fan.
If the good people of Marmite are watching,
please,
then send me some Marmite. Buy Marmite.
Buy Marmite.
I have 2 jars of Marmite with my name on it, bought for me for Christmas. Haven't tried the chili one. Don't know how.
I'm very excited to try this chili one. I'm a big chili fan. I love Marmite. Whether they go together, they probably will. Let's dive in. What do you think?
When I eat Marmite, I have probably about 4-to-1 butter ratio.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
lots of butter
You can't go
in
anything
spread
more
of
than
Marmite.
that. Otherwise, it's
Oh my
just
God.
that's too much bitterness. You'll get heartburn from that. That's not. Take care of yourself out there.
This isn't. How much am I taking here?
You're taking the full teaspoon, Tim. I'm not messing around.
This
That'll be good.
This isn't good for beer pairing, is it? No, we're not going to find the next good beer pairing here, are we?
I really hope that our tastes aren't soured from this.
That's quite a full spoon.
All right, for the audience out there, is that good enough? It's pretty thick.
Here we go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Empty spoon. Oh my God.
Mmm. Mm-mm. Mm. 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 Mm.
Oh, that really burns the mouth.
Oh, it is spicy. Oh.
Oh, it's not pleasant.
Oh, this is nasty.
Oh.
Mm.
It's just so salty. It's so salty.
There's so much sodium in this.
It's not even the spice, which is developing, by the way. It's the salt. Oh my goodness me. Jess downstairs in the tap room.
Oh my God.
Like, why am I licking the spoon? My natural greed just took over. Right.
Oh.
Now let's see if they pair well.
Cheers.
You know what, it works.
Yeah, so IPAs, I drink a lot of IPAs with, and
You've got it on with
whenever I have a curry,
yeah,
a spicy curry, I will always go out of my way to have an IPA with it. My mouth is salivating because it's trying to react with the Marmite. Yeah, I find that IPAs mixed with spicy food really brings out and almost it levels the spice to a certain degree, and they kind of they meet hand in hand, and they complement each other in such a fantastic way. That was crazy. I really didn't expect it to be that intense.
That salty.
Oh.
Yeah. So enjoy Marmite. Send me some free Marmite. It's really annoying because look, there's a whole load of chocolates here that I
We've got a load of chocolates that we're definitely not going to get to. Absolutely not.
Right, let's talk about food with this. Something better than Dynamite chili, which is really going mad. What are you eating with this? Curry?
Curry for sure, 100%. Yeah, really nice jalfrezi or something. Or
I was vegetarian for a long time. I'm not that vegetarian at the moment. I should be more, but I would definitely go like ribs or brisket or something with this. Because like the richness of smoked meats cuts across really well with
I think so.
sort of the sort of sweetness and fruitiness of IPA.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, it's making my nose run. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Spicy chili, spicy Marmite. Not bad. I'm
going to tell you now, the last poll is live. Please, on this one, I hate eating raw chilies, and Jess bought us some bird eye chilies.
Bird's eye chilies?
Could have just done a jalapeno. No, had to do a bird eye chili.
Oh.
Calypso with a hot curry, absolutely great.
Oh yeah, good shout on that one.
All right, okay, so last beer, Stopian Dawn Black IPA. It was released today. This is a 6.4% Black IPA. So we've done a few good Black IPAs recently. Let the Night In was a lovely beer you made, says Aaron Hatcher. Has a name of a bit of a Halloween theme. Brew this again. That was actually my name. I suggested that.
Did you?
Yep.
Is this Halloween related at all?
It was a bit of a pun on our head brewer Sean Knight.
Okay.
But yeah, Let the Night In.
Let that night in.
Black IPA we did was Zombies Ate My Neighbors.
Yeah, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which was a collab with Elusive Brewing. Shout out to Elusive.
Shout out to Elusive.
I kill it over there.
Here we go. So let's talk about Black IPA.
Oh.
When you are thinking about a black or an IPA, I'm not sure.
Someone get a candle behind that.
You cannot get a candle through.
Look at that. It's that black that I cannot get a candle.
So when we're talking about black IPAs or IPAs, you think of these fruity sort of beers like this. Now, I largely eat and drink with my eyes, so black IPA is a pure trick.
Yeah. Because in your mind, you're thinking, oh, this is going to be a really lovely, smooth stout. Look at that head.
Yeah.
That's going to be really, really nice, really rich, a really lovely sort of, a roller coaster for your tongue.
Yeah.
And that's where it throws you off, ladies and gentlemen, because the black IPA it's full of tricks.
Yeah,
full of tricks.
So there's a couple of routes you can really go with it. One is the more malty side. So you put more of the sort of roasty malts in the brew, maybe some more bittering hops, and you end up with that sort of more malty beer. Now that is what Andy Parker of Elusive really likes. His black IPAs, he likes to be more malty, more like a Cascadian dark ale.
Yep. Our
head brewer Sean likes black IPAs to be a pure trick. So you close your eyes. And we'll try it.
Yeah.
I'll close my eyes. You give me one of these two beers, and I'll tell you which one it is.
All right.
Well, okay. Yeah. It's fruity, but it's the black IPA. I think.
I feel like you might have been able to tell that with the weight.
Possibly.
So,
but do you know what I mean? It is a trick on the eyes.
It really is. You get so many really light, fruity notes that
amazing.
You just wouldn't think that this would be packed full of fruit.
Yeah. With Zombies Ate My Neighbors, we went down more of the Andy Parker themed malty route, and with this one, we've come more towards the fruity side.
Oh, that's good.
I think as this warms up, it gets slightly more malty.
I think so. Yeah, I would agree with that.
There's a backbone of sort of that sort of richness and roastiness, but let me check hops. Citra, Mosaic, and Azaka. So Azaka, the hop that we're going to be getting the frozen green leaf, that is doing a lot of the heavy lifting here, I think, which is providing those tropical notes.
Yeah.
Close your eyes and you don't know you're drinking a black IPA. The debate is, then why make a black IPA? But I think it creates really good.
Yeah, it's
like discussion. Plus, you get that kind of background roastiness that it's just it works so well.
And to be honest, it's only really something that you have to experience yourself in order to have an opinion on it.
Yeah.
Because one person could look at that and be like, that looks like a Guinness. I'm not going to touch that. It's it's whatever. But once you try this, experience it, have that confusion in your head in front of you, and then you try it and you're like, wow, that it's really sort of a really like almost luxurious feeling to it, and I think it's very appropriate for Halloween, to be honest.
Yeah, just a black. Horrible.
Yeah.
Not horrible, but like black and.
So for Halloween, we released, I believe, 2 beers. So we released a black IPA, and we've also released a red IPA. Here's one that Tim conveniently prepared earlier. There it is. What's it called, Tim?
Picture Puzzle.
Picture Puzzle. That's it. Sorry, I handed it straight to the camera.
Another 5.8% red IPA. I poured this out to take some photos earlier. And it's lovely. Again, these sort of like high fruit notes and stuff. I love the fact that it's we've released 2 IPAs and there isn't a pale golden color inside.
Yeah, exactly. And again, how fitting for Halloween, a black and a red.
Absolutely. So movies. What are you pairing?
Movies. So Dystopian Dawn is the name of this black IPA. Now for a movie recommendation for this, I thought Dystopian Dawn, I guess Mad Max is a bit dystopian, you could say. Blade Runner is a bit dystopian.
Blade Runner is what I was going to say. Yeah.
But for me, for a horror film, in my mind, a Dystopian Dawn kind of sounds like zombies. And so I think I am going to recommend for this Maybe Danny Boyle's 28 Days Later. It's a classic.
Great film.
It's very much a go-to, but it's terrifying, man. Like it's really like
The rage.
pure rage,
Yeah.
like up close and personal, just really in your face, really loud, really sort of, just really terrifying. Other ones, you could go. I guess more recently there was the that Zack Snyder one on Netflix in Vegas. Cannot remember what it's called. Army of the Dead. That's what it's called. Other zombies. What's your favorite zombie film?
Shaun of the Dead.
Shaun of the Dead. Oh yeah, there we go.
I just love comedy.
That's a dystopian Dawn, isn't it? Dystopian Shaun. There we go.
Oh man,
Dystopian Shaun. That's the secret. Edgar Wright, if you're listening, you're not, but if you are, Dystopian Shaun, we'll have that.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
There we go. We've come full circle.
All right. We're losing on the trick or treat, by the way. We're gonna have to eat one of these chilies. Yeah, we're gonna have to do it, and I'm a bit thrown.
Yeah.
So before we do that,
sure.
Let's talk about nice food. What would you be pairing with a beer like this?
So with this, I find that within the flavor notes, I can pick up sort of in my mind, I'm picturing myself kind of around the dinner table with my family, and I think I'm going to pair.
So sweet.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Stop it. I think I'm going to pair this with a chicken pot pie.
Oh, nice.
Because while you've got this lovely rich flavor, you want something that's quite wholesome and quite sort of something that gives off a nice feeling. And I think if you have some really lovely juicy chicken, some fresh veg, a really lovely chicken gravy or broth in between, and a really lovely crisp top, I think they would go hand in hand. What about you?
Do you know what? I think like the maltiness balances out some sweetness. So I think you could, bearing in mind this is a bit malty, pair it with a pudding.
Sure.
But I'm not a big fan of pairing beer with pudding personally. So I would genuinely go German sausages with a really pickly, like European mustard. A really great mustard. Those sort of sausages that you go, snap, a snap. Brilliant. I think that with the sort of this level, this style of beer would be really exciting for me.
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Yeah. Do you get any caramel notes from this?
Caramel notes. Yes, on the aroma, I definitely do, actually.
I suppose if we were going puddings, maybe a creme caramel.
Yeah.
Maybe like a really nice sort of light, sweet, rich, thick. I think maybe a creme caramel or like a creme brulee, something that has a lot of caramel incorporated into it. And then you could get this very bold flavor with a really nice, smooth, almost like creamy dessert. I think that would really work.
Yeah, I think that would work. Yeah, you definitely do get caramelly notes. I guess that's the wonder of a black IPA, because you don't get those sorts of notes with a traditional IPA, but you still get those sort of real big fruity highlights.
Do you know when I first joined Siren, I first joined the team, we released a beer called Belly of the Shark. Belly of the Shark. And that blew my mind. That was the first black IPA that I think I'd ever tried. Unlike anything that I'd ever seen or heard of before. I didn't even know that you could venture out into that sort of a realm. And then I tried it and I was like, this is fantastic. Like, it really blew my mind. And you know what? I think this might be up there. This really might be up there.
I think for me, it's one of my favourite black IPAs we've done.
Really, really nice.
Side, I absolutely love it.
And I know I'm biased, but this is really nice.
Yeah, go buy it.
Yeah, please go try it. You don't believe me? I dare you to try this.
Okay.
Anyway.
On to the admin. Should we just finish there?
It's up to you, man.
Oh, man. Right.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the third. Oh,
Thanks,
man.
everyone. That's 3 tricks in a row.
So this is 3 tricks in a row. Not a trick. I mean, there are treats in sight.
Choose your weapon.
We're gonna have to go big or go home. Okay, I'm gonna go with maybe this bad boy. Are these spicy?
Yeah, they're really bad.
They're really bad.
Yeah. Let's hang on. Let's.
I might have to take my jacket off for this.
Oh, hang on. Bird eye chili Scoville. Right, I'm looking up how spicy these are. Okay.
Just a mere between 50 and 100,000 Scoville units.
So not the hottest, but I like chili, but I don't like eating raw chili. I don't like eating raw jalapeno, so I'm really. Thanks, everyone. I'm gonna have a really bad night's sleep. Thank you.
Bottoms up, Tim.
Man.
I know it's Halloween, but this is the public. I mean,
they've spoken, haven't they?
The public have spoken, and us as entertainers, we must listen to them.
Here we go.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh, I'm struggling. I'm Adam Richmond. Oh, God.
I'm in pain.
Oh, that's developing.
Get it down.
Developing like. Oh. Oh, you bastard.
Oh, that's bad.
Oh, I'm not good at this.
Oh, it's getting worse. I could never go on hot ones.
Oh my God. My mouth is. Oh my God, that's horrible. I apologise, I just swore. I'm crying. Yeah.
Oh, I'm crying.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone. For those of you that don't know, move out of the way, Alice. There's a letter here behind this hammer, which has been there the whole time. Which I'll open now and show you what it says.
Is it reversed? Oh, I'm dying.
There was no treats. So no treats for you either. The lesson is be nice to people and choose treat.
You were never there for me, Dad. Just a bit of acting there. I'm crying right now.
I'm struggling. Right. Oh God, do admin.
I can feel the blood in my feet.
This isn't good.
So why don't you rattle off the admin?
Caribbean chocolate cake's coming up.
It's coming soon. It's gonna be real big. We got four variants of the Caribbean chocolate cake. It's always massive every year.
I tried one of them today. It's glorious.
It's really good. We can't tell you what they are, I don't think, can we?
No. If you go onto Twitter, you can apply to be a taster to get it early. This is a mess. Right. Thanks everyone for joining us. Go and buy some beer or something. Happy Halloween, everyone.
Yeah.
Cheers, Alice.
Cheers, man. Go buy some beer.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank
you.
Cheers.
Cheers.